don't know my story. They don't know my story. Nope, they don't know my story.
This is a place where survivors can be seen and be heard and be loved and be free. A place where no judgment comes into mind. This is your moment to shine. People gon' talk, yeah. Haters gon' say what they wanna say, but keep doing you, girl. Cause there will be a brighter day. People gonna talk, yeah. And haters gon' say what they wanna say.
Hi.
What did I do with it? You said music playing?
Hello, hello, hello. This is Alissa R. Jones with the Survivor's Voice with Alissa R. Jones. And I just want to thank you for tuning in to this life-changing show. I am a survivor advocate, public speaker, and an award-winning author, and Barack Obama Lifetime Achievement Award recipient. And I am excited today about our show that we are having today. And it is when control is mistaken for love. And, I'm just very excited about our guest today. Barbett has been connected to the organization for a few years now. And I'm just really excited about her stepping out and really sharing her story and being open and transparent, like you're going to hear tonight. A lot of times when we fall in love with somebody, we definitely mistake, control for love. And we lose ourselves within the process of being in love with somebody. So I just want to introduce to you tonight, Barbett Willmore. I am so excited and thank you so much for joining me on the show tonight. So want to get started, definitely want to jump right in and hear your story. I want you to just kind of start off and share with the viewers, what was the process for you in this relationship and really going through the process of how you lost yourself?
Well, first of all, I want to tell you, thank you so much, Alissa, for allowing me to be a part of this show.
Mom, can you share the link in your page?
And so I really want to tell you, thank you, first of all, for doing that. It's greatly appreciated. I am a little nervous, but I know that this needs to be done because I want to be able to help other women, okay, to break that generational curse, that shamefulness that, we go through. And that's why we have a lot of issue with women now because they don't share things about their story. So I want to break the chain. Mm-hmm. So I just want to start off how we all started between him and I, how we met. We met and it seemed like it was Prince Charming. He was so charming and charismatic and just opened up the doors and so attentive to my needs and, just like somebody like you would dream of a movie. And so we went everywhere together. We took pictures together. We didn't share a whole lot, like on, different, definitely not on social media, but definitely, we just did everything together. And so I want to really, really, really tell the story really slow as possible because I don't want to miss anything.
Sure.
Like he came in and was like, oh, yes, your daughter, we're going to make sure that she don't ever have to want for anything. And I'm going to make sure that I'm going to be there in her life. And, he knew that I had, 2 other children and 3 altogether, but 2 sons. And so it was just like, oh my gosh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. We're going to do all these type of things. And so as time went on, it was like, well, right now we just have to make sure that, you cover me because of my calling that's on my life. And so therefore I don't want to, we have to make sure that, we're not known that we're really in type of a relationship, but I want you to know that
Okay.
I'm here for you. Okay. And so it was just all of those things, and that he would, say to me, and that certain clothing and certain perfumes that he wanted me to wear, and how I dress. And, he would, my daughter's like, she likes to, for me to wear different clothing. So he's like, well, in order for you to,
Right.
if you need to wear this, because I'm the only one that has the power to change your last name. So it became to be like, it was like a carrot, like a
Wow.
ring, like, I'm going to do this, but you have to do this. And we have to cover my purpose, because I'm the man and God gave me the vision. So I need you to follow me. So all of those things, because in order for, me to go with him, I had to do, like, he was on his way somewhere, and he had these big aspirations and these big dreams. And, it was all about his connection and what he needed to do, and so I just totally lost myself, because I was holding on, just like, oh my gosh, this is going to happen, and we're going to do this, and we're going to, be able to that promise. You see what I'm saying? So that's what took place,
So,
and so go ahead.
Go ahead and finish. Go ahead.
And just one of the things is, when someone tell you to cover them, to keep them a secret, to keep y'all a secret, because it's about his purpose and his destination and where he want to go, don't allow that. I know I see many posts where women like, if they're not showing it, then it's okay. But at a certain extent, you be like, this is way too long that you're not going anywhere. So that's all I want to say. But go ahead, Alyssa. I may be going up.
No, I was going to ask you, because one of the things you said that I heard you saying that, he told you what to wear. He told you what perfume to wear. And so within that, when that first happened, what did you think about that? What was running through your mind?
Well, I was doing it because as he would use different examples on how women like maybe Michelle Obama and Barack, or how she followed him, or the simple fact, men want women to be a certain way or smell a certain way, and certain fragrance smelled good on me. So those was the fragrance that he wanted me to wear, even like down to the point where picking out the clothing, or ordering my clothing or wherever the case may be, because this is a certain look that I had to wear to be able to fit to where we was going in supposed to be our purpose, our destination.
Right. So how long were you two together?
3.5 years.
Okay. So out of those 3.5 years, what were the signs that you begin to see that were red flags?
I was beginning to see signs where he was able to manipulate me to believe that we was going somewhere, and I kept hoping that that was going to be the case, and we wasn't. The red signs, red flags was we would go like be places, and certain things he may say about me in a kind of like condescending way, and I'm like, well, that's not nice to say, like, oh, well, she likes to eat, or those kind of things. Or I'm trying to think, it was about little, I'm trying to think this one incident. I'm trying to think of this one incident. Just, it would be condescending, where it would be like disrespect, but then again, not, but then trying to cover it up like, no, I was just joking,
Now, wait a minute. You're going to have to back up on that one. How can you be disrespectful and not disrespectful?
Okay, I'm gonna give you an example. So, I'm from Ohio, and so in Ohio, we like jam. Well, I shouldn't say
we're both from Ohio.
Okay, we both from Ohio, but I like jam.
Yeah.
So one day I went to the store and I was like, I want some jam, and they was like, oh, we don't sell jam, and he's like, who grew up on jam? We know nothing about jelly. Who eats jelly? Tell her that you ain't got no jelly. That kind of stuff. And I was like,
oh, that's so yeah, like openly embarrassing you.
Yes, openly embarrassing me. Those kind of things.
Yeah. So would you say in the beginning that, you might have ignored some of those red flags?
I did. hmm I most definitely did. A whole lot of red
Okay.
flags.
Why do you think that is?
Because it was always like he was constantly promise me that this was going to be, that God said that I was his wife. But I had,
Wow.
yes, that was, he was telling, God told me that you're my wife. And so therefore, we're going to make sure that we work on the things that we need to work on so we can get where we need to be. But I had to first follow him to where his destination was, because he was on his way somewhere. And so he was the man, he had the vision. So it's all about following. Yes.
Okay. So at that point that, you said, okay, I ignored the flags. How long was it within the relationship where you said, you know what, I'm losing myself and this is turning in, this isn't love, but this is control?
After seeing that I was being isolated, like from my family, from friends, there was times where I wanted to do things and reach out, but I couldn't really reach out because a simple fact of, well, they're not part of our destination. They're not part of our purpose. So I don't need for them to be around. So we always went everywhere, all the time, even to the Mac store, to buy makeup or anywhere. We just went everywhere together. We did go to the store together. And then I was seeing little things was happening and I would ignore the sign. For instance, how your car is connected to Bluetooth, and
Right.
the phone would ring and it would show, as we was in the car together, females was calling him, and I
Wow.
ignored that sign. And then he had my phone mirrored so he can see all my text messages, anything on social media, anything. And I was wondering, like, how would he know certain things that I may share with my kids, and I was like,
So he mirrored your phone without you knowing?
yes. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Wow. So let's talk about this because somebody has a question about the
Mm-hmm.
isolation part. So they
Mm-hmm.
want to know, with the isolation, did it start off subtle and then as you noticed that the isolation went beyond that, you were just all of a sudden isolated from everybody? I guess what they're trying to say is, how did that process of isolation begin?
It was very subtle, very subtle. And
Okay.
then it became something like even talking on the phone to people. Well, I
Mhm.
don't understand why you have to be on the phone with them all the time. And I would say,
Mhm.
well, they're calling me. So I would always make sure that I would do my phone calls before I would see him, or even with my children. My kids kept saying, Mom, something's
Mhm.
not right. And you'd be like, no, no, we're doing this. And, he's fine. He has my best interests at heart. He's a good person and he may be very well good. But the thing of it is, he may be good for someone else. So my kids will be like, Mom, but I just don't feel comfortable with him. And I kept saying, but no, especially my daughter, she was picking up real things, like say, for instance, we go to church and he would be constantly
Mhm.
on the phone calling me as I'm leaving the church, or the fact of the matter, because he may not always went to church, but it came very suddenly where if my kids want to come down, well, how long are they going to be here for, and when they're coming back, and or how, what's the purpose of them coming, they just can't show up, or it would be all of those things, even if I went to the mall with them and he'd be, well, what are you guys doing? Well, I'm at the mall, they're not here that long, the case may be. So always like those type of things, just real subtle. And then I wanted to get involved in different things, and it would always be an issue with me being involved with those types of things, like with any women groups or any activities. There was, I shared with you, I wanted to come to your event, and
Mhm. Yes.
was around and coming to your event. I had to, apologize to you for that. So it's just like I just lost myself loving someone else, and I won't do that again. Just won't. You
You
know,
better say it.
I
But I'm gonna
won't.
tell you something. It's one of the things that you said within what you were sharing, and you said he might be good for somebody else. You understand how many women deal with a man because they don't want to see them with somebody else? Like,
Mm,
you really have to get to that point to say, you know what? I might not be the woman for you, but there is somebody out there for you, but I'm just going to bow out gracefully. And I
mm-hmm,
sit here and commend you as I listen to you for that, because 3.5 years isn't a short amount of time. And when you are with somebody each and every day, you become a part of them. They become a part of your everyday life.
mm-hmm,
So, with that being said, the next question is, as you started to detach yourself from this relationship, because I can really tell you, you probably left mentally before you left physically.
mm. Yeah, it was.
Did
I
you?
was just. Yeah, I was like, I have to be able to go, and I kept saying, "This is not right. I have lost myself. How did I get to this point?" It was like point of no return. Like I didn't even know myself. Like I didn't even know how to even pull myself up, and I kept trying. Like you ever see like someone trying to reach up for something, but you can't reach up, and like,
Mm-hmm.
and I kept saying, "God, give me the strength to do what I need to do, say what I need to say, and just let this relationship go." Because it was attacked. My whole being was gone. I don't even, just that's the best way to describe.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would seem like I was awkward around people, because it seemed like I had came
You were.
social detachment.
And
Oh,
I'm
okay.
gonna say that because,
Okay.
yeah, I'm gonna say that because I seen the difference in you. You have been connected to me for almost 4 or 5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And this past year, I seen the difference in you. I can't remember where I had one event and Barbett and Chanel was not there. I can't remember that. So when you came to me in February and you said, Alissa, I want to be there. And I believe it was either March or April, you came to me and you said, you know what, Alissa, I love you so much. I need to apologize to you. I
Mm-hmm.
want to say this to you, and I'm going to say it publicly, is that I knew at that moment that that wasn't the Barbett. I knew, and I knew something was wrong with you. But at that time, because sometimes when people are in relationships, you have to step back and let them, really go back to finding themselves. I'm never going to be the one to say, hey, leave that relationship. But I do know that you were different because we were close. We are close. I'm not even going to say were, but I knew that there was things different about you. So when you even came to me to apologize, I had to say to you, there was no apology needed, because at the end of the day, I knew you were going through something. And sometimes you need those people in your life that understands, hey, she's going through something. Let me pray for her. And so when you came to me and contacted me to do this show, and this is what you were going to talk about, you just don't understand how much I shouted to God and just praising him for actually delivering you from whatever you was going through. And I'll say at that time, I didn't know what you were going through. So when you shared this with me and that we decided to do this show, I just wanted to let you know from my heart to yours how excited I was and grateful that God was able to answer my prayers, because sometimes instead of jumping into the situation with you, somebody needs to be an intercessor prayer on your behalf.
Thank you,
So I
Jesus.
just wanted
Thank
to
you,
share
Lord.
that with you and
Thank
let you
you.
know that I really was praying that you got through this, as I didn't know what it was, but I'm grateful to see you on the other side of it.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And oh, that's a blessing. I really, really, really appreciate that. I truly, from the bottom of my heart. And I just like I have my spiritual mother, spiritual mother in Ohio. I have one here. And so, I will call and say, can you just pray for me? And I appreciate you praying for me, because it is such a hard time to really be open to people. You know what I'm saying? And so because of the
Right.
shame and the guilt, and you don't want people to judge you at all. And so I just want to tell you,
Yeah.
thank you so much that you always been there for me and continue to be, and our friendship continue to just emerge and do some great things together in God's glory. And so I had just wrote a few things, just like women, I'm beginning to learn and understand my self-worth, that you have to definitely trust your gut instinct. And I had went to church
Mm-hmm.
now I want to go there, but just going to church and hearing Pastor Rima said, tonight you need to go home and break that relationship. And when I did see him, he was like, are you coming to tell me that it's over with? Because he watched it from the house. And I was like, wow. And I said, no. But I knew inside I should have said yes. But I didn't have the nerves to muster up that energy to say yes. You see what I'm saying? So then it continued on and on and on. And so I just have to start just some scriptures. I just want to quote and just share, like
Definitely.
Proverbs 3:15. She is more precious than rubies, and all things desires cannot compare her. And another one, trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not to your understanding, and he shall direct your path. So I just like, God, thank you for for just giving me the wisdom and the knowledge to say enough is enough. What examples I'm setting for my kids, and it's just too much. Anytime someone say, cover me, don't tell nobody, you go in one end, and that way of going inside the sanctuary, that's not healthy. That's not good. No, not at all.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you want to share, but and I'm not concerned about what people think or say, but this is my story. This is what I live with. You understand? And I want me to be free, and I want them to be free, because we don't no longer have to live like this in any kind of way, shape, or form. And so another thing, I just writing little notes here and there just to kind of anytime there would be a discussion, I'm like, well, and it, from that person point of view. And I said, well, let me share. Well, no, every time you say something, you're defending yourself. I said, well, can I share my side of my story? No, you're just defending yourself. And then it would even be threats be made. If you're lying to me, I hope you have diarrhea for a week, or I hope that fire and brimstone come down. I mean, yes, those are the things that I went through. Those are the things that I went through. And I'm like, wow. So that's what I said. And enough was enough. Enough was enough.
Yeah.
You just hiding in silence, and you want to reach out to somebody, but you're afraid to reach out to anybody, even if you go to church and you reach out, because then, for the simple fact, you don't want that to get out or be said or anything like that. So I kept stuff to myself. I had special people that I would reach out to and say, I need y'all to pray for me. And so they would do that along the way, that I can feel comfortable being, if it was, just close friends, so those are the same things. And so anytime someone is trying to change the core value who God changed you to be, do not stay. Have enough courage to leave.
You better say it. Yeah.
Anytime.
Yeah.
I said, now, wait a minute. I know I was created in God's image. How did I get way over here to the left? I said, but I
you
know
better
God
say it, Barbett.
I was like, enough is enough. It's over. It's done. There's no more point of return. So now I am in counseling.
Someone wants to know, what was your breaking point?
Ooh.
What was your breaking point where you said, just like you said, enough is enough. I'm done. I'm walking away, and I'm not looking back. What was your breaking point?
My breaking point was when my daughter, Chanel, she has seizures at nighttime. And my breaking point was where they were trying to compare her seizures to their rest, and that I can hear her but can't understand the point of me getting up and making noise. I would go to work at 4:30. I have to be to work at 4:30 a.m. in the morning. Okay. So I go to get up between 2 and 2:30. So there's days when I don't even know that I'm getting up or how I'm getting up. So that was my breaking point.
Right.
When you gonna compare your rest to me hearing my daughter's seizures while she's in the bed, oh no, you got to go. So I was sitting there.
And not only that, not only that, I was going to say, I didn't mean to cut you off,
That's okay.
but something had just came to my mind because Barbett, at the end of the day, your daughter can die from a seizure,
Mm-hmm.
so we're going to compare you sleeping to my daughter having a seizure that could possibly take her life.
Mm-hmm.
Because I say this, I just had a high school friend who was in a car accident and he lost his life because he kept having seizures, and he
Mm-hmm.
just passed away yesterday. And so that really struck me when you said that, because you and Chanel are very close to me. So to
Mm-hmm.
even hear that and knowing that mother instinct in you, and you couldn't even be sensitive to that,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that would be a breaking point for me too.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Right, right. And so I was like, and thank God Chanel's her seizures is regulated by medication, and I understand and I thank you. But
Good.
it was just like, she takes her medication, she's got a good regimen, so she's doing real good. But occasionally before that,
Mm-hmm.
she would have them. So I was like, wait a minute, you saying what? And I'm sitting there and you're lecturing me how I made a noise and disturbed you at 5:30 in the morning because I got to use the restroom. No, that's not gonna happen. Okay. So then
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting there and I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. And I kept saying, Holy Spirit, Lord Jesus, please help me to say the things I need to say. And I said, you know what? This is
Right.
not working at all. This is not working. It's not for my best interest. That's it. So enough was enough. And that's when I was like, cut the tides. So it's a healing
Mm-hmm.
process. Like I said, I am going to counseling so I can be,
Good. Let's
a
talk
better
about
person
that.
for myself. Go ahead. Okay.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about your process, because I'll say this, Barbett. I talk to a lot of women and survivors on a daily basis, and some of them do not even believe in counseling. What was your process to say, you know what? This is a mental issue and this is emotional, and my mental health is important. I need to go to counseling. What was your point for that, to even realize that you needed counseling?
When I knew that I was not myself, that's when I
Mm-hmm.
realized, like, I definitely need someone to get in here and help me. And trust me, God is right there. He's number one. But there's
Right.
nothing wrong with speaking to a counselor and having your God. And thank God she is a
Yeah.
Christian counselor that I can talk to
Okay.
her. But she's
Okay.
getting me on the path where I can be open, and she can help me to see some things that is going to guide me and keep me, and recognize some things that I can change mentally so I don't go back, and
Mm-hmm.
staying strong and moving forward in the
Right.
situation and recognizing some things. And so it also comes down to, you know, uh, women, we have things going on with our family or not having a father in our life, and recognize those things that
Yeah.
you're hoping that this person is going to be the person that they say they are, be daddy
Right.
issues or mother issues, you know what I'm saying? And so
Mm-hmm.
therefore
Mm-hmm.
we think, oh my gosh, this person comes in and sells the world to you, so that's where
Mm-hmm.
she's helping me to recognize some things for myself and going back and digging into my childhood, and building
I
healthy
was just
relationships.
about to ask you, what was some of the strategies that she's
Yeah,
giving you to help you dig deep? What are some of those
right.
strategies?
Yes. And that's what it is, helping me to realize some things in your childhood that can affect you, that you make the decisions in your adult life. That's what she's.
Because I've had some events with some of the survivors, and I do the monthly meetings, and I used to tell my survivors, because it was something I had to do. I had to go back to that little girl.
Mm-hmm.
I started realizing that I was accepting the type of men in my life because I have daddy issues. I'm not afraid to
Mm-hmm.
say that. But I had to go back to that little girl and apologize to that little girl. Tell that little girl that I'm sorry. I had to write that little girl a letter. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
so that's why I said, sometimes you have to go to counseling to
Mm-hmm.
really get back and get to the root of what's really going on. So I
Exactly.
commend you for that. So share with us what's some of the strategies that you would say that has helped you in counseling.
writing my thoughts out.
Okay.
Writing down how I feel, whether or good, bad, or indifferent, and then
Okay.
taking it back. And, so writing, that's a good thing, a good therapy. Another strategy is try to focus on today and not what's, just take one day at a time. You know what I'm saying? And I know, just not get overwhelmed with situations and stuff like that. So those are some of my strategies that I work on, and keeping in contact and reaching out, if I need to talk to somebody. Don't feel embarrassed about anything, and being able to be open and honest with people. That's where some of my strategies.
That's good.
But I want to share something with you. So
go ahead.
What happened was my mom got real ill. I traveled back to Ohio when I was there for 3 months.
I remember.
You remember? And so during that course,
I came.
Yes,
I came there. Yeah.
See, I was having a moment. Yeah, it was in October.
It's okay, but it was October, right?
Yes. Yeah. It was with my friend Jeanette. She has the violence. Stop the Violence event. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. So anyway, I was in Ohio for 3 months because my mom got critically ill. She caught it for 30 minutes. They brought her back to thank you guys. She's fine now. And so I was there for 3 months. And so during that course of time of my 3 months, my mom, I went on and I saw my dad, because I just didn't never feel like he was really my dad. Okay. So make a long story short, we did a DNA test, and he's not my dad. And I was like, oh, so all of those
make you feel, Barbett?
Well, kind of like, who is my dad? But then I know I'm almost okay with it to a certain extent, because I haven't found him and I've been searching. And so I was like, well, if I don't find him, I had to be at peace with it. But while I was there and I was sharing it with the gentleman, my friend, Mel X, whatever, I was saying, I want to go ahead and get the DNA test to see about my dad. Well, he was like, you don't need to get that done. I never knew who my dad was. So why do you want to know who your dad was? And, I just never known. What would be the benefit? Oh my gosh. It was just going through all of that. Didn't want me to find out who my dad was. And I was like, well, I'm going to go get my test done. And it was already set up. So that controlling thing, lecturing me for hours on the phone, and I was like, nope. So I went on and got that done. And then when I had came back, I went through a lot. Fortunately, I was able to stay with, some family and friends and my spiritual mother and all that. And so, when I came back here, I was trying to, I was so happy to get back, but I was free when I was there. If that makes sense. I felt free. I was able to get in the car and go places, even though he's calling every 5 minutes and that kind of thing. And so when I came back, and so we went to a park or downtown or whatever, and we was talking, and he said, I just want to tell you, you just don't add any value to my life. And I was like, what? I said, well, if I don't add no value to your life, why are you still here? But before those words came out, tears began to fall, because I had went through a whole lot for those 3 months. A whole lot, with my mom being ill, sleeping at the hospitals, sleeping at friends' house, sleeping at my spiritual mom. Thank God I was well taken care of. I didn't go without nothing, because they were very good to me. Don't get me wrong. But when you got a parent in intensive care, then they go into another facility and you're up there and you're sleeping in a hospital. Yeah, right. So it's a lot to go through.
It's a lot.
So, tears begin to cry. And he gonna say to me, start dry them tears up. And I was like, ooh. And I said, why did I let that other side come out? So I was vulnerable because I had went through a lot, but then I had to hurry up and take it all back.
Suck it back in.
So he knew that I had just found out that wasn't my dad. You see what I'm saying? And so it was just a lot to go through. And so now I'm in the process of doing a DNA test. I did, but I don't know who all my family is. It's just like on my mom's side. But, so I was like, okay, God, if I have a father, if I don't, you're my father. And I just have to move on with it.
Yeah. I did a chapter in my book The Stones That Built Me Strong, and it's called My Dad Isn't My Dad. And just like you, unfortunately, I found out my father, my stepfather, wasn't my biological father at the age of 13. But in that chapter, I talk about, how I had to start embracing God as my father, because I
Mhm.
had started going through my life, just so broken and things like that. And some of the relationships I have been in, some of, my exes have used the
Mhm.
brokenness that I have been through against me. And so it gets you into this place where you're like, you know what? I don't want to tell nobody. I just want to go through it myself, because people
Mhm.
sometimes will use your brokenness against you. And so it's
Mhm.
just so funny say that about embracing God as Father, because I felt
Mhm.
like I was walking through my life for so long not knowing, my biological father. And so in
Mhm.
2019, I lost both of them within 2 months. And
Mm.
so now I'm sitting up here without any father. And now more than ever, I'm embracing God as Father.
Ooh,
So,
Abba
um,
Father. Mm.
yes. And so,
Mm.
I just, when you said that, and I'm assuming you don't have the results of the DNA test yet, but
Well,
I'm
yes.
assuming you have them or you don't.
Well, for my biological dad, I'm sorry, for my dad, who I thought was my dad, those results came
Hmm.
back that I'm not his daughter.
Okay.
So
But you
he's
said
not
you
my
took
daughter.
some more, or
A
you're still
DNA,
looking for your
I'm still looking for my father. So I did an ancestry
father.
DNA. So I've been in search. I met my cousin yesterday. We went to a
Okay.
restaurant and had dinner. She lives here in Houston. So that's how I'm
Good.
finding. Yes, I'm finding some family. I'm reaching out a
Happy
little bit
for
more,
you.
and yeah, because I'm a social butterfly. I like to meet people. And so
Yeah.
now I'm being able to socialize a little bit more and finding who my family is. And I have one in New York, so I'm finding them slowly but surely, and we're being in contact with one another. Yes.
Okay, good. So I have a question for you. Somebody wants to know, what were the three major red flags that you seen in your relationship
Hmm. The
from
condescending.
him?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
be condescending. Okay.
The condescending, being one way to me or being one way to others, and then being opposite, like Dr. Jack on Mr. Hyde. You see what I'm
Okay.
saying?
So one
Like,
way outside, and then behind closed doors, you seen a different person.
yes,
Okay.
yes. hmm Um, making promises and don't keeping them, or
Okay. Let's
saying,
talk about that. What's some of the promises that he made you that he did not keep?
well, first of all, the one was, oh, we're going to be married, or we're going to, get a house, or we're going to do all these great things, those type of things,
Mhm.
and we're going to
Mhm.
travel. And so we did travel for the birthday because it was his birthday. But the fact of the matter was, it was on Mother's Day, and the birthday is the same day. And so
Okay.
then, they were saying, "Oh, happy Mother's Day." And he was like, "Well, Mother's Day," when they left the table. "Well, Mother's Day, that's any day, but today's my birthday." You know what I'm saying?
Wow. So he
I was
just
like,
blew
"Oh,
your thing to the side.
right."
Like,
And I was like, "Okay." Or they'll say, "Anything that you do with me is because anything that wait, how let me get the words right.
you're fine. Take your time.
You're reaping the benefits. You're reaping the benefits by being with me. Because how I treat myself, that's how basically what's saying is you're getting what I like to do for myself.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's what it was.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of things. Like basically say, well, when you're with me and whatever I do for me, it's basically because you're reaping the benefits because you're with me. I was like, oh, okay. Those kind of things. But there would be, but he can always be charming, but also be
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I'm so good to see that Chanel has chimed in. And so,
Okay. What'd she say? I
yeah,
seen some
somebody
and I
has
didn't
a
really get
question. Yeah,
what'd she
somebody
say?
has a question based on her comment. So she said, right, and I was there the whole time, and he tried to change the dynamic of our relationship. So a question came in, and they want to know, how did he try to change the dynamic of you guys' relationship?
Pitting one of us against one another.
Okay, how did he do that? Give us an example.
Okay, I'll give examples. So say, for instance, it was always, well, you need to tell her this, or you need to tell her that, or like she, what's the word I want to use? More or less wanting to change where her and I went places together, didn't want us to go together. It was all about, well, we're going here, or if him and I was going somewhere, didn't want her to come along. Those type of things. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So those would be the
and
things.
And you guys are very close.
Yeah.
He wouldn't allow you to come and talk.
Or even come and talk to her at all. You know, it's always about being in his face or what he wanted me to do and that kind of thing.
We'd be in a car together, he'd keep calling.
You know, if we were together in the car, he'll be calling all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. You know, and even trying to change the relationship with my sons, you know. It was just like change that whole relationship with my children, period.
Yeah. So let's talk about, because, you know, I know you. And so, but the viewers may not know you. Let's talk about what kind of relationship you have. We're not even going to say have with your daughter, Chanel.
Oh my gosh. That's my girl. She's my only girl. Let me tell you my ages of my children. So my oldest, I have a 32, Chanel's 31, and then I have a 28-year-old. And Chanel, that's my only girl. So we do everything together. First of all, we moved here together from Ohio. And so we do everything together, you know, like I want to say like mostly like churching and shopping and all that stuff. She hang with her friends. I don't do all that, but I'm just saying we're close as far as spending time together and cooking together and going places together and talking about things that we want to talk about, you know, as a mother and daughter, because I always raise my children to have an open dialogue. Yes. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm talking about, that type of relationship, you know, that mother and daughter bond, you know, going to church together, everything, you know. So those are the things that, you know, we did together. So we're real close. And then my sons, we're close as well. Love them to death, you know, but they just didn't. It was just a funny feeling that they was like, I don't know, Mom. But my head was, I wanted to send you this picture. I don't have my phone, but there's a picture that was taken of me, and you should have seen me. I was like a little girl, just giddish. That's the best way I can describe it. And I was all, you know, it's on, I was like, like that. And, you know, just giddish, girlish, or, you know, just so
head
over head, nose wide open, you know, like, wow.
That's what we do for men.
Oh, Jesus.
That's what we do for men. Yeah. So, you know, we talked about the red flags. We talked about the process of losing yourself. So someone wants to know, what were some of the things that he did that were controlling, which I know you mentioned some of them a little bit in the beginning, but they want to know, like, what was some of the things that he did were controlling. I know about the, you know, the perfume in your clothes, but I guess they want a little bit more in depth of that.
Well, I shared about, you know, controlling with my children when they would come. When they would come, he wanted to know how long they were going to be here, when they were coming back, the reason why they were coming. It was always a question, and what time they're leaving. It was that type of controlling, you know, that it was like a schedule. So that was very controlling. So it was that type of thing that was controlling. Or I mentioned about the perfume, or some of them may be where, say for instance, I want to go somewhere. It was always an issue, like going and be involved in different women events and stuff like that. So it was very, very controlling. And so I would pull back and I wouldn't be involved in anything like that. You know, so it was just those types of things that he was controlling, you know, playing mind games, you know, or saying one thing and changing another, or
Mm.
he was just very controlling. I mean, he was just very controlling.
I get it. I really do. One
Mhm.
of the things that I really want to know is with the, controlling spirit, what was that point where you said, you know what? Because I know you talk to God. So this is where
Mm.
I'm going with this. What was that point, and you're going to laugh at me, that you had to sit God on it?
Uh, I said, listen here, God, you're going to have to get him. I said, because enough is enough. I can't take it no more.
I already know.
I said, that's enough.
Before I heard him.
Because I was like, God, it's not worth my peace. It's not worth my sanity. It's not worth, I know that I am created in your image and you love me. And I know you don't desire for me to continue to go through something like this. So I had to start speaking things to myself without even him knowing that I was speaking. And I'll be speaking and someone's coming at you and grueling at you and you like, I know. And I kept saying, God, give me the strength, give me the strength. And so I had to really learn, like, enough wasn't, and kept saying, I know there's something better for me. I know I can do this. I know I don't need this abuse. This is not healthy. This is not good. It's not a good look. It's taking me mentally. It's taking me to a whole nother place, And so I had to really that is enough. God, you're going to have to do what you need to do to handle this whole situation. Yes.
Affirmations. Affirmations.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Barbett, this is what I want you to do. I want you right now to get into, because I know you got that anointing. Because, see, I know you. I know you know you. And I know you got that anointing. And I want you to speak to that survivor right now that is in your shoes, that's in a controlling, narcissistic relationship right now, ignoring all of them red flags, being controlled, being knowing what to wear, what perfume to wear. I want you to speak to that survivor right now that's wearing your shoes today. I want you to speak to that survivor.
Yes. And I also want to make clear is also men who's going through this as well as women, but I'm going to speak it into just let y'all know. Listen, anytime someone is changing the core value who God created you to be, I said it before, please do not allow that to happen. Please sit down and rethink some things. I don't care if they say, it's all about you and I, and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And they don't want you to be around your family and your friends. You better run. You better hope. You just need to go. Do not second guess your instinct. Don't let it go on for years and years like I did, hoping on top of hoping, wishing on top of wish. Someone telling you, oh, we're going to do this and there. And this is about a plan. And this is how Michelle and Barack, and she was this certain way. And it's using all those little things. And even the Bible to manipulate me.
Now that's it right there. When they use that Bible and use the scripture, don't even know what the scripture means.
Right. God what did it say? A man findeth the wife, and she's supposed to be already a wife. I get all of that, but I know I was a wife. You understand what I'm saying? But that was his way of keep putting. It's like a little dangling a carrot. Like, yeah, this is going to happen, but you have to keep doing this to get that. You see what I'm saying? That's a lie from the pit of hell. Don't ever let nobody tell you that you got to go this far to get this. And you've been riding like Bonnie and Clyde, and ain't nothing prosperous, nothing surfaced.
You better run around this house, girl. Bonnie and Clyde.
Yes. Bonnie and Clyde. Yes. That ride or die chick. You ain't gotta get that ride or die, especially after you've seen ain't nothing happening, no changes is coming on. And then it's always about you when you trying to explain to them how you feel, but it comes back as your fault because this happened. It's your fault because they talking to another woman. It's your fault. You catching them on the phone, on the car going off and the phone number come across the screen. You're like, well, wait a minute. It's because you. Yes. And then on top of that, claim to me didn't have a good birthday. That's why they was on the line talking to somebody on Facebook DM, and now all in their DM. I said, wait a minute. You gonna blame me? And I was gonna tell me, oh, I was vulnerable. So that's why I was talking to the other female. You was that vulnerable? And you blame like it was my fault? Because you didn't have a good birthday when I made sure you had a good birthday? See, that's manipulation right there.
Yeah. 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 Let's talk about that. Let's talk about some of the ways that he manipulated you. Because, see, there's a survivor out there right now being manipulated. You know, it's so funny, Barbett. I seen a meme and it said, sis, that wasn't love. That was just heavy manipulation.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yes, manipulation.
Let's talk about the things that you went through, that you were manipulated, and then he played the blame game on you. I'm angry just sitting here listening to you, girl. I'm mad. I'm mad.
Yeah.
I'm mad as hell, and it happened a few years ago. I'm mad.
Yes, the blame game was always the way, the reason why
Everything's your fault.
Everything was my fault. Never took responsibility.
Yeah.
I said, well, wait a minute, hold up, Ken. What about you? Well, no, it ain't about you. It ain't about me. It's about you, because how you said this, and so it's your fault, or you did. And I was like, well, what did I do? What did I do?
So
but it's
everything
always
you
come
did,
back on me.
He blamed you for the reaction.
Exactly. And then when I try to explain myself, oh, well, this is what's going on. Well, wait a minute, let me explain myself. Well, no, you're not going to explain yourself, because when you do explain yourself, you're defending yourself. I said, what? That don't make any sense. I have the right to share how I feel, don't I? Isn't this a two-way street? I thought.
Right.
So then I just suppress everything, and I just didn't share anything. But I talked in my head, and I talked to myself, and I talked to God.
Tell me what that's like when you're talking in your head, like, God,
listen here.
I'm about to kill him tonight. Like, God.
But I love my freedom, girl. He ain't worth it. He is not worth it, okay? Because like I said before, listen, he's not good for me, but he may be good for somebody else. And I said, God, you going to take care of him. I don't wish him no hurt, harm, or danger. But God, you going to take care of this situation. You're going to take care of him. Right. But I know I have to be for me. You see what I'm saying? I don't wish him no bad luck at all. Wish him well. Because I know I like my health and my strength, period.
Yeah.
So,
So, as we continue to wrap up the show, I want to talk about who Barbett is today. Tell us about the freedom you have today and who you are today and how you walking in freedom. You're not looking back, and how you just said, I'm not going to go through this no more. But tell us who Barbett is today sitting in front of us.
Barbett Marie Willmore is a courageous woman, a woman of God, a woman who has a purpose, a woman who loves people, who loves to serve people, a woman who likes to go out and enjoy things in life, who wants better for herself, who has a destiny and a purpose. And I'm just a mother of 3 adult children who loves me as much as I love them. So that's who it is. And right now, I'm so focused on me. I ain't got time to be like, hey, nope, not at all. I'm telling you. So that's where my focus is. Listen, this gentleman at work said, hey, can I take you out for lunch? I said, I can buy my own lunch. It's McDonald's and here at the hospital. I don't need all that. And then I said, if you just want to buy me lunch, then you must have someone at your house or something. I said, but you ain't got to buy me no lunch. I can buy my own lunch.
You better come with it.
So I don't know.
I don't want to better come better than that.
Come better than lunch. What about dinner? What happened to dinner? So women, listen, don't be naive with them dinners and no lunch, or a certain time you got to meet somebody. No, or a certain time they calling you and they can't pick up the phone. Absolutely not. That is a red flag. Yeah. But see, he was so good, girl. He had his phone off of do not disturb at a certain time. See, but then sometimes the phone would slip up. Sometimes the phone would slip up and ring, and I like, oh no, and then hearts going across. See, God will give you that spiritual discernment when you start talking to him and be like, God, I need you. It's all about you. Nothing else matters but you. And then once you start getting that, he started giving that spiritual discernment and knowing that you need to walk away. You better run. and don't look
Mm.
back. The only thing my therapist told me, she says, just make sure you keep those things a mental thought in your head so you don't go back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I said,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I will
Mm-hmm.
not. Keep a mental note.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So
Mm-hmm.
today, that's where I'm at. Stronger. Each day I'm getting stronger. I'm stronger now, but I'm getting stronger and stronger in God.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm just
Yeah.
trusting him to guide me through all my actions right now. So that's
Yeah.
what I say.
Yeah.
Continue to hold on to God's unchanging hand. I don't care who it is, male or female at all.
Mm-hmm.
Just know that you, and reach out to
Mm-hmm.
family. Don't let nobody isolate you, but see, they do so gradually before you know, you're like, whoa, what happened?
Right. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we are God's masterpiece.
So
He created us in his image.
we are.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You got that right. You got that right. So I want you, Barbett,
Mm-hmm.
to talk to that survivor right now that needs to walk away. They need your encouragement. They heard your story today. They heard your voice. They heard how strong you are and who Barbett is today. Talk to that survivor that is just stuck in that relationship and wants to get out and wants to walk away. Because, see, I believe it happens in your mind first. So talk to them right now, and we'll end on that note on you encouraging that survivor that is in this dead end relationship with heartache, sitting up crying at night, sitting in the closet, and they may even be contemplating suicide because they might not feel like they don't have nobody to talk to. Let's talk to that survivor right now.
Well, I want you to tell you first, start getting your steps in process. I went to go hear Sarah Jakes in February. Chanel took me for my birthday. And Sarah Jakes had said, Sarah Jake Roberts, let me say it correctly. She had said, start getting your steps and being able to get out of that relationship, because, you know, women were sharing their stories. And she says, if it's 30, 60, 90 days, she says, just start putting things in place and start seeing those things so you can get out. Reach out to somebody and say, hey, I need help, but someone in confidence, you know, that's going to help you to see your way out of that relationship. Before I had tried to seek counseling, and that didn't work because it was, you know, it just didn't work for me to be able to go at the time that I needed to go. So you have to make sure that you can set some time, a time frame. Make sure that you have someone that you can speak in confidence. I started calling the Women Houston Batter Shelter. And then when COVID hit, then they wasn't seeing anybody, but they were still able to talk to me over the phone. And then I was able to start talking with them. And then I found a counselor where now I don't have to, you know, go online, but I can speak to her because it was over the phone. But now I can do it virtual, and she's right here in Houston. And so that's sort of things I start like edging my way out. And then start talking to yourself, you know, start saying, hey, listen, I know I can do this. You know, I'm more than a conqueror through Christ. You know, start doing some affirmation stuff for yourself, and then start trying to make a plan out. And then I just so happened people would just be placed in my life, and they was, you know, trying to make sure that I was able to get out. And so they were helping me with getting out as well. But it have to be with someone in confidence, you know, so you can strategize and make sure it's safe. Make sure you have a safe house to go to. And if you have to they even told me, if you have to get another phone and use that phone to call somebody, then use that phone, but don't use your primary phone, because like I said, mine was being mirrored, and then, you know, knowing all my messages, social media, all of that. So if you have to have a phone where, you know, I even told my daughter, this is a code. Listen, Chanel, so here's another, we're going to get this phone turned on. Here's a code. If I say Band-Aid, then, you know, you need to call the police. If I say it was another, I don't remember the other one, but you have to make sure you have someone who you can reach out to in a safe that's going to help you and that's going to be confident. So those are some of the strategies that they would tell me when I started calling Houston Batter Shelter, to get to a safe location. And then if you needed to go somewhere, I would have to make sure, if I wanted to and need to, take the bus to the place from my job versus driving my car or anything like that. So those are some of the things that I had to put in line, and making sure that you just safe. So get to a safe, first of all, get something in plan, get you a phone with another number. We can talk to the women in Houston, the Batter Shelter. They're here in Houston. I wish I can have my phone. I would look up the number for.
I just want to tell our viewers. I just want to tell our viewers real quick. If you're listening to this and you need to write this down, please take the time to write this down. Go ahead, Barbett.
Yeah. And so those are some of the things that I started implementing. I would be at work on the phone at the office in another room, calling them to talk to them so I can get some type of help, because I knew I couldn't call him a phone after I was realizing that he was, mirroring my phone. So those are some of the things you have to be in plan. And if you, if you had to say you have to go, I don't know about going to your mother's house or that type of thing, or someone that you can maybe use the phone at their house, that may be as well. So those are just some of the things that I just wanted for you to talk about. I mean, that I want to share with the ladies and the men, that you can also, I'm trying to think, strategizing your time frame. If you had to start trusting someone to hold some money for you until you can get a place, the shelter does have places, they'll let you stay. And you kind of like, well, I don't know if I want to stay at a shelter, but if you have to, then you have to. Fortunately, I didn't have to. It was the other way around. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, you can always make sure that they get some type of help. Just make sure they get some help. I even at Texas Children, I have police officers. I would go up to them and ask them some questions, and they say, hey, you know what you need to do is possibly, make a police report saying, he's saying some things to you that's, that's not good, So I would share some stuff with them because I was in a safe place. So I was reaching out in a safe place without that person knowing.
Right. That's real good. Well,
and if you have to see a police officer anywhere, just reach out to them. Don't even on a train. I mean, because I just reach out to somebody. Don't stand there. Don't let depression take you down where you feel like no one loves you. Someone is here for you. I'm here for you. You can reach out to me. We can work this plan together, because I don't want to see any of my sisters or brothers going through anything. You are loved. God loves you. And I want to see what's best. We got to break that generational curse. We cannot allow, because the things that we're going through, our kids are seeing us going through. And we don't want our children. I don't want my daughter to see that. I want better for her, and I want better for me. So don't ever feel like you have to stay in any kind of reason. If you should leave with your clothes on your back, leave. Because all that's materialistic things. But your health and your wealth and your strength and your mind is more and better. You see what I says here? Peace. That's what you need to get. Peace. Run if you have to. If it ain't but in your underwear and your bra, get out of there.
Right.
That's all I'm.
You better say it. You better say it.
Talking.
No, you're good. I promise you bless somebody tonight. I know for a fact you bless somebody tonight. I'm getting so many messages on the back end, and the thing is, your story just blessed I don't know how many survivors out there, whether it was male or female. And I just want to say this to you, Barbett, because I personally know you, is that I love the Barbett that I see in front of me today. I am so grateful to be connected, not to just you, but to your daughter. God has blessed me with your friendship, and I just want you to know I'm so grateful for you, and I'm glad to see that you are on the other side of this situation.
Mm.
I am glad that you are using your voice. I am glad that you are being a blessing to those, because I know what it took for you to get to this point. I know that it took you a long time to even get to a place to say, I'm going to go ahead and share, not just
Mm.
because of your story, but who you were in a relationship with.
Mm.
So I know this was a lot for you, and I commend you, and I'm so grateful to be
Mhm.
blessed to be your friend. So I just want to take the time to speak to that individual right now, and I want to speak to that survivor right now that has listened to this show, and you are in that situation. You are in the process of losing yourself because you love somebody. You have
Mm.
mistaken that love for control. I have been in your shoes, and Barbett has been in your shoes, but we want to speak to you tonight, and we want to pray for you that you get
Mm.
to the point of knowing who you are, but not just who you are, but who you belong to. That God is the all and the end to your life, and you
Mm.
do not have to be controlled by love. You do not
Mm.
have to lose yourself, because as Barbette
Mm.
said earlier, you are who you are, and can't nobody change that, because God created you in his image,
Mhm.
and you are not put on this earth for anybody to control you.
Mm-mm.
Okay,
Mm-mm.
so we are going to lift up a prayer tonight, and I thank Devonda, thank you very much for typing a prayer in the comments. We truly appreciate you for doing that. But I just want to say we are going to individually pray for you. And I just want to speak to that survivor that is in that situation and feels stuck right now. You have
Mhm.
so many resources at your disposal. Survivors with Voices organization is here. We have this platform, and Barbette will tell you, I am very accessible, and I do what I can to help each and every survivor that comes in contact with me. But I just want you to know that if you feel like there is no support, just do what you can to reach out. And I'll just share a little brief testimony where I got to the point of I quit sharing things with certain individuals and certain people because I felt like every time I shared something, my transgressions was used against me. So with that being
Mm.
said, I was on the inside, but I had to get to the point mentally where I don't care what people think or what people say, because at the end of the day, this is what made me. This is who you see in front of you today. So no matter what I've been through, I might have failed 9 times, but I get up 10.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
it doesn't matter if you are fallen. We just want you to get up, and we're here to give you a hand to get up.
Yeah.
And I say that because people will laugh at your pain.
Yes, they will.
People will laugh at your pain, not
Mhm.
understanding how God works, and you can be sitting right in my shoes tomorrow and
Mhm.
may need us to get you through the next day. So I
Mhm.
say all that to say that we really appreciate you watching the show. And Barbette, I want to thank you for being my guest tonight. You bless me tonight. You bless me with sharing your story. And because I personally know you, I am so godly proud of the woman that I see in front of me today. So
Mhm.
I appreciate you bringing your wisdom to our viewers. I know that you bless somebody tonight. We pray that you've been encouraged, and we want to encourage you to keep fighting and keep surviving. We want you to stay connected with the Survivor's Voice with Alissa R. Jones on Facebook. We are on YouTube as well. And we just want to definitely continue to do these shows to give a platform to those survivors who want to share their testimony. Because, see, what we do on this platform is we use our testimony to encourage the next survivor. What we
Mhm.
understand is that our past is somebody's present. And even though it's behind us, somebody is living in it in that moment. So we want to
Mhm.
encourage you to join us weekly to listen to the many testimonies that we have coming forward. And again, Barbette, I thank you so much for sharing. You blessed so many people. And if anybody did not watch this show live, definitely watch the replay. Share it with a survivor that you may know that may be in a situation right now where they are in the process of losing themselves, and they're in a situation where they have mistaken control for love. So we're going to end it on good night. We thank you again, and I really truly appreciate you. Barbett, I thank you again. And I just want to say, stay connected to us. But bye-bye, and I thank you very, very much.
Bye-bye. I did. Oh, never mind.